My mother handed me a sealed envelope during my birthday party. Inside was a family termination notice. She smiled coldly. As of today, you're no longer family. My father laughed. And don't forget to pay us back for everything we spent on you. My sister grinned without a word. I silently walked out. 1 year later, the same people were begging for forgiveness. Boston's winter was harsher than usual. From the window of a hospital room, overlooking the snow-covered cityscape, Elizabeth Monroe finished her final suture. The heart transplant surgery had lasted 8 hours, but the patient's condition was stable. She blinked her tired eyes and left the operating room. That was an amazing surgery, a young resident rushed up to her. Your technique is truly remarkable. Someday I hope to become a surgeon like you. Elizabeth smiled and nodded. She had established herself as the most skilled cardiac surgeon at St. Mary Memorial Hospital. 10 years of relentless effort and dedication had paid off, earning her respect from many colleagues and junior doctors. Thank you, Jessica. I'm sure you can do it, Elizabeth replied kindly. She finished her final rounds and headed to the changing room. When she took her smartphone from her locker, she noticed several missed calls. One was from the senior care facility, and another from her mother. With a deep sigh, she opened the message from her mother. Don't forget about the family gathering today at 6 o'clock. It's your birthday after all. Elizabeth put her hand to her forehead. Today was her birthday. She had completely forgotten it, absorbed in her work. But her reluctance to attend that celebration wasn't just because of her busy schedule. Elizabeth had grown up in a wealthy family in the Boston suburbs. Her father, Robert, was known as a real estate mogul, and Monroe Properties was one of the most successful real estate companies in the city. Her mother, Carol, a former debutante, now managed high society charity events, and her sister, Vanessa, basking in her father's adoration, was pursuing a career as a model. Though they appeared to be a perfect family on the surface, family gatherings were always tense occasions for Elizabeth. Her choice to pursue medicine was consistently undervalued in a family that prized art and fashion. For her parents, real success meant social status and physical beauty, not saving patients' lives. Elizabeth, you're always reading books. Look at Vanessa. She already has bookings for 3 fashion shows. This was something her mother often said during her teenage years. Elizabeth had earned a scholarship to medical school and graduated at the top of her class, yet every time she returned home, all she heard were stories of her sister's latest achievements. Elizabeth's only supporter was her maternal grandmother, Martha, a former nurse. Martha fully backed her granddaughter's passion for medicine. You have a special gift, Elizabeth, Martha would always say. You'll save many lives with those hands. That's a gift from God. Before getting into her car, Elizabeth checked the call from the senior care facility. Martha's condition had been unstable lately. Elizabeth visited once a week and planned to stop by today as well. This is Dr. Monroe. How is my grandmother Martha Williams doing? She asked. She's doing fine, doctor, the facility staff answered. She's been looking forward to your visit since this morning. She mentioned having a special present for you. Elizabeth smiled. I understand. Thank you. I'll be there soon. As she drove, Elizabeth thought about the birthday party at her parents' house. Her mother would surely prepare a perfect dinner, and her father would open an expensive wine, but the conversation would undoubtedly center around Vanessa's latest photo shoot and the celebrities she'd met. Inevitably, her parents would inquire about Elizabeth's financial situation. You make enough money as a doctor. You should support Vanessa's career. We spent a fortune raising you. Just think about your college expenses. Elizabeth gripped the steering wheel tightly. She had been living in her own apartment and was completely financially independent for over 10 years. Still, her parents constantly mentioned her duty and repayment, as if her life was merely a return on their investment. Upon arriving at the senior care facility, Elizabeth's expression softened. Here, she could be herself, both as a doctor and as a granddaughter. When she knocked on Martha's door, a weak but warm voice answered, "Come in, Elizabeth." At 85, Martha sat on her bed. Her white hair was neatly tied back, and her blue eyes shone with a sharpness that belied her age. As Elizabeth approached, Martha opened her arms. "Happy birthday, my precious granddaughter." Elizabeth gently embraced Martha. "Thank you, Grandma." Martha took a small box from her bedside table. "This is a special gift for you." "Don't open it now," she said, looking into Elizabeth's eyes with a serious expression. "Open it when the time is right. It will help you understand the true meaning of family." Elizabeth accepted the box with curiosity. "What do you mean? Did something happen?" Martha smiled. "Life is unpredictable. This might be the last lesson I can teach you," she coughed. "How about the party tonight? Are you looking forward to it?" Elizabeth answered honestly. "To be honest, I'm not eager to go. As usual, it'll be all about my sister, and nobody wants to hear about my work." Martha took her granddaughter's hand. "Elizabeth, you've grown into a wonderful woman, not just with your talent as a doctor, but with your compassionate heart. Never doubt your worth." "I'm so glad I have you, Grandma," Elizabeth said. "You're the only one who truly understands me." A momentary sadness crossed Martha's face, but it quickly changed to a smile. "Now go, your mother will be angry if you're late." Elizabeth received one more embrace from her grandmother, and put the small box in her bag. As she left the facility, she felt an inexplicable anxiety in her chest. On her way to her parents' mansion, Elizabeth's phone rang. It was from the hospital. "Dr. Monroe, I'm sorry to bother you, but the patient from earlier has become somewhat unstable. Could you come check on them?" I'll be right there, Elizabeth answered immediately. She called her parents to let them know she would be late. Although she could hear clear displeasure in her mother's voice, Elizabeth didn't mind. The patient's life came first. As dusk approached, Elizabeth finally arrived at her parents' house. Passing through the elaborate gates and up the stone driveway, she was met by the imposing door. Taking a deep breath, she rang the doorbell. The door opened, and Carol appeared. Finally, you've arrived, she said in a stern tone. Everyone is waiting. Elizabeth nodded quietly and entered the house. In the living room, under the grand chandelier, her parents and sister were already seated. The table was set with expensive white porcelain dishware, and the soft light from candelabras illuminated the room. However, what caught her eye was a white envelope placed on the table. There was no birthday cake or wrapped presents in sight. So you finally came, Carol said coldly. Sit down. Elizabeth quietly took her seat. Her father, Robert, was pouring expensive wine and didn't even look at her. Her sister, Vanessa, checked her smartphone and gave Elizabeth a meaningful glance with a slight smile. Happy birthday, Elizabeth, Robert finally looked at her after filling the last glass. Now, as proof that you've become an adult, here's an important document. Carol pointed to the white envelope in front of Elizabeth. Open it. Tension filled the room. Elizabeth reached for the envelope and opened it. Inside was an official document with a notary seal. The title read, Family Relationship Termination Notice. What is this? Elizabeth asked in confusion, looking up from the document. She was met with Carol's cold smile. From today, you are no longer part of our family, Carol said with a thin smile. Simple, isn't it? Elizabeth looked at the document in disbelief. It listed legal terms and clauses, formally dissolving the family relationship and demanding repayment for child-rearing costs, college expenses, and all other investments made in her. It even included a clause prohibiting any future family gatherings or contacts. The total amount was specified as $450,000. What does this mean? Elizabeth's voice trembled. Did something happen? Did I do something? Nothing happened, Carol answered calmly. It's simply a business decision. You're an adult now, a successful doctor. We want to focus on Vanessa's career. Robert took a sip of wine and smirked. As a doctor, you can afford it, right? We made a substantial investment in raising you. Now we want returns.